Welcome back to another episode of me painting things I probably shouldn't be painting. Hey everybody, welcome to today's video. Today we're going to be doing a chair makeover. We're going to be painting a chair to look like leather. I have been really wanting to do this DIY. Apparently you can paint fabric to look like faux leather. I've seen a couple different channels do it here on YouTube. I'm going to show you how I did it, and hopefully you learned something from this video, because I definitely learned something from this. So I found this chair on Facebook Marketplace. I got it for $20. The fabric, I mean, just look at this. This is what the fabric used to look like before. It's like this gold velvet fabric, and as you can see, it's like got so much dirt on it. So it also has this little repair on the leg here. It's got these screws. I'm gonna have to fix that. But I just saw the shape of it and I just thought it would look really awesome if it was leather. I could reupholster it, but then cut the fabric and measure and sew things.
That, you know, and they ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine.
So I just took some laundry detergent, regular old laundry detergent. So I'm just gonna give that whole thing a really good scrub, use my shop vac to vacuum all the water out of it, and then set it out in the sun to dry. Here is what the chair looks like now that it is all nice and clean. All that dirt is gone. You can actually see the fabric now. It's really pretty. I'm going to fix this little broken leg here and hide these screws. So I decided to do a little experiment here and just try out some different paint recipes just to see what would work best. I've got these old pieces of fabric from past projects, and they're a very similar material, if not the exact same material as the chair. So I've got 4 little recipes here. I've got acrylic paint and fabric softener, and that is a 50-50 ratio. It's just 1 part fabric softener to 1 part paint. And I tested this on both different types of fabrics here just to see how they acted on different types of fabric. One is the crushed velvet. This one is more of a shorter pile. It's almost got a little bit of like a striped texture to it. Next up is chalk paint and fabric softener, which I wasn't sure how this was going to work out, and honestly it didn't work out that good, so don't recommend that one. It dried super crusty and gross, and it was very I could scrape it off with my finger. Third option was chalk paint and water. Again, 50-50, you can play around with that ratio, but chalk paint and water was pretty much just like the chalk paint and fabric softener. It was super dry and crusty when it dried. Fourth option I tried was the latex paint and fabric softener, which is probably the most common recipe that people use. Wow, we just talked so fast. The most common recipe that people have been doing online. So that one, definitely a winner for me. Went on super thick, as you can see, and it really covered up the texture of that fabric, because the crushed velvet, and well, any velvet really, it has a lot of texture. It was the most pliable. It felt and looked like faux leather. I could like move the fabric around, and it really just acted like fake leather, like the best out of all of these options. So that's the recipe that we're going to be going with, is the latex paint and fabric softener 1-to-1 ratio. So just 1 part paint here and 1 part fabric softener. So I grabbed these 2 latex paints from Home Depot. This is Nutmeg that I'm using here. I'm going to start with that color. It's like this light neutral brown, but I'm using the light brown first just to create a base. I waited for that to dry 24 hours, came back the next day, and it was nice and dry, but it was also a little bit like textured and crusty in some areas. So I sanded the whole thing down with 150 grit to smooth everything out. This was theoretically supposed to be my final coat of paint here, where I just kind of blended these colors together and made it like a dark brown. But I opened the can of paint and it was like literally just purple. The dark brown paint was purple. Kona brown. Opened up the can. Purple. I was like, what the heck? What's going on here? So I looked online, I read all the reviews. They were like, yeah, like starts out purple and then when it dries, it's like a gorgeous brown. And I was like, oh, cool. Yeah, that makes no sense whatsoever, but I trust you. I trust these reviews. So I painted it anyway, and then I came back 24 hours later and it was still purple. I ended up going over that entire thing with the light brown paint again. Just clean slate. Here we go again. Okay. It ended up actually working out better, because the more layers of paint I put on the fabric, the more it camouflaged the texture of the fabric and smoothed it out. So because I put so many layers of paint on it, I think it actually came out looking better than it would have if that paint actually dried brown. So I just grabbed this can of brown spray paint and just like started spray painting the chair. I don't know what compelled me to do this, but honestly, it worked perfectly fine, which was a little shocking to me, but yeah, I just took the spray paint, and then I also had some dark brown acrylic paint mixed with fabric softener, and I just blended that in, and then once that was dry, I went ahead and highlighted some areas with that lighter brown. And then I went in and dry brushed with some black to darken some areas to give it like an aged look, more like the inspiration photos that I was basing this off of. And for the finishing touches, I just took a little bit of metallic gold paint and just kind of touched it onto the nail head trim to make it stand out from the actual chair. Now it's done, and I decided to stage it, and I don't know why it's like so difficult to throw a throw blanket in an aesthetically pleasing way, but it's pretty hard. The color came out really nice. I think it was exactly what I was going for. A nice dark sort of chocolate brown, aged look. The texture of the fabric, it's like really pliable. It feels like real leather, like when you move it around and sit on it. So yeah, I think we did pretty good. I mean, this is how we started out, and this is how we ended. I'm really happy with it. If you like this video, feel free to leave a like, subscribe, or comment, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!